You ever pound a chicken? It's not the circumference that matters, it's the thickness.
My name is Gregory Llewellyn, and I'm the owner and head chef at Hart's Yard in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to be stepping out of my restaurant kitchen and into my home kitchen so that I can share some amazing things that you can try at home.
You ever go to the local pub and be let down by the schnitzel? Don't put up with shitty schnitty. Today we're doing chicken schnitzel, and we're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're gonna do a slightly herbed crust. We've got some chicken. These are huge chicken boobs. I don't know what they fed these things, but they're fucking massive. So we've cut the breast into 3 pieces. We have the tenderloin on the bottom, the tip, and then the end of the breast. And we're going to pound this with a bit of go-between. They don't have this in the States, this go-between. This shit's amazing. Like non-stick everything, this stuff. When I was in the kitchen, they're like, go get the go-between. I was like, what are they talking about? So we're gonna put this in. Look at the size of these things. We're gonna give them a bit of a pound. And it's important when you pound it to sort of not bash it around. And you see how it's intact? It's sort of all one piece. Because when you pound the schnitzel and you make it evenly, it's gonna cook evenly. The best part about a schnitzel is really moist meat. And the worst part about a schnitzel is more bread than meat. What the fuck? I understand you're trying to make a buck, people, but don't chip me on the meat. Alrighty, our schnitties, the base of them is pounded. It's a nice thickness, and when we bread it, it'll be a nice sort of breading to meat ratio, which is most important. We're gonna start next with the breading. And in this blender, we're gonna chuck a couple of cloves of garlic, some chili, just a bit. This is a bit of oregano. It's nothing better than dried oregano on things, especially pizza. We're gonna take the world's shittiest cheese grater and chuck in some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, Grana Padano, whatever you got. Grate that in. We're gonna add a little bit of breadcrumb to this. We'll leave half out, and we'll chuck in some basil, from the garden, of course. And we're just gonna use this blender. We're gonna slap that on there. We're just slowly just gonna blend all of this together to sort of make an herb breadcrumb. Let the machine do the work. You could do this in a RoboCoupe or like a little mix master if you got a little blending thing. You could do it in a meat grinder if you got it. It doesn't have to be fine. If there's big pieces, who cares? And you can see right there, it smells amazing. All the sort of fresh oils of the basil, the parsley, the chili. It's got some spice. So we're gonna finish this off. Get back there, towel. Chuck that in. And it's gonna be slightly sticky because of the moisture from the herbs. Finally, we're gonna add a little bit of lemon zest. And that's gonna keep it really punchy, add a nice acidity to it. Lastly, we're gonna add a little bit of salt. It's nothing worse than an under-seasoned schnitty as well. So shit, such a letdown. Or when they're not hot. Probably about 2 tablespoons, maybe 1, that enough? There you go. And then pepper, lots and lots of pepper. Pepper's a wonderful spice when it's cooked and roasted. I think the older I get, the more I love pepper. It smells really, really lovely. It's got a beautiful hue, beautiful color, and it's not very hard to do. You could do fresh oregano, marjoram, more parsley. You don't like basil, don't put it. You don't like garlic, don't put it. You like orange, put it in, who cares? Now the key to a schnitzel, its thickness and then how it's breaded. So right here we have some flour, eggs, and bread. We're just gonna give the eggs a bit of a whip. Then we have flour. It's a famous chef in the States. He says, I don't know where you buy your flour, where I buy mine, it doesn't come seasoned. A little bit of salt. So as you go, you're building layers of this schnitzel. We want the oil simmering at a medium heat. So when they go in, you hear this nice sort of crackle and sizzle. So we're just gonna bread this once. So we go flour, and then egg. It's really important when you're breading, everything is completely coated. So when you do go into the egg has something to stick onto. It's got something to adhere to. So it's just really important that you give it a good dunk. And then when you're breading it, just give it a light push. Look at that, begging to be fried. So when you're frying schnitzel, if you don't have a thermometer, what you could do is take a little bit of the crumb, and you just want that little bit of sizzle. That lets you know that the oil's hot enough for the chicken to go in. This oil is ready to go. Then we're gonna start frying these glorious things off. Look at that. Stop it. I'm gonna put in this whopper too. Usually schnitzels are deep fried. This is shallow fried. You can see that the oil's hot enough that it's not sticking on the bottom and that they instantly started frying. You know the oil will be not hot enough if it just sort of sat there like a lump on a log. So these babies have been cooking a couple of minutes, and you can start to see that they're getting slightly brown and golden around the edges. The sizzling that you're hearing is the moisture sort of being released as they cook. It's important that they're not sticking and you're not messing with the crust, because as soon as that goes, game over. See you later. Give them a jiggle. Using spoon's a good thing, not tongs, because tongs sort of tend to rip, but you also want to be safe too. Let's give these babies a flip. And as these are flipping, we're gonna add a little bit of butter. Now look, if you're frying schnitzels, I've done it in beef fat, chicken fat, pork fat, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, whatever fat you want, but they gotta be finished with butter. That is the key. Because as the butter melts, it releases a bit of the milk solids, which aids in the browning and also adds to the nuttiness. And look how it just foams up. This is awesome. That is my happy place. How do you know when a schnitzel's done? I think it's resistance to the bounce. You know when the meat is tightening up, the sound of the sizzle, and also timing. How long it's been in there. How long would you last in hot fat? Look at these babies. Stop it. Screaming. Look at that. That is a glorious piece of chicken. And how do these compare to your local pub? Have a look. They fucking don't smell like that, number one. They don't look like that, number two. And you don't have to get a number. You can do it yourself. And what to do once these schnitzels are finished? A myriad of things. Pickles, capers, mayonnaise, if that's your thing. Squeeze a lemon. Don't forget the salt. Enjoy.